The newly introduced series of 200 Naira, 500 Naira and 1000 Naira banknotes are now in use. Beyond these exotic features and preservation of our rich heritage, with images of some heroes past, the new banknotes come with enhanced security features and greater durability to prevent counterfeiting. Let's embrace the new banknotes. This is our Naira. Accept it. Spend it. The Naira is our national pride. Respect it. Handle it with care. This message is brought to you from National Orientation Agency, Rivers State.
Hello viewers, good morning and welcome back to NOA Rivers State Dialogue. As we are still in the celebration of New Year, we wish to say a big Happy New Year. If you are joining us for the first time New Year this year, and to everyone who have streamed live with us last week, we say a big thank you for coming back again this morning, and we wish to tell you to continue enjoying your New Year. So last week, this is a place where we weekly sensitize people on government policies, programs and activities through feedback mechanism. Also, topical issues as it affects and relates to our lifestyle are discussed on this platform. So last week we started a discussion on a very important topic, and due to limited time and how vital and important the discussion was, we deemed it necessary to return back and discuss further to the understanding and the adoption of the public. So today we'll be digging deeper on that topic, redesign Naira notes and the role of stakeholders in financial inclusion, part 2. And I have a wonderful guest today with me in the studio to converse on this topic, who is by name Mr. CUTHBERT WAR-TOBY.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. He is the manager from STANBIC IBTC. Thank you, sir, for coming through.
Thank you.
And also, viewers, don't forget you are always an important guest in the studio on this platform every Friday while we come. So feel free to make your suggestions. Feel free to drop your contribution, questions, and any other thing that you want to say on the comment section. And at the right time, we'll be able to read them out and discuss or answer those questions. And also from last week, you can remember on this topic of redesign of Naira notes, we were able to get some key point that the way forward on this issue is through dissemination of information, and social media being one of the key why this news could able to spread abroad, even to the rural areas. So I'd love to seize this opportunity and say, if you're watching us right now, just hit the like button and the share button so that we can able to get more broad stream to connect to more people on this platform, on this important information that is very important to everyone in Nigeria. Thank you. So, and also, we want to let you know that at the right time, our telephone line will be open to you. Which, if you cannot be able to drop your comments, you can now call in. As you call in, please be civil. Just tell us your name, your location, and then straight to point why you are calling. And then by name, Mrs. Ifoma Ilodigwe. Thank you and have a beautiful time with us this morning. Thank you. All right. Mr. CUTHBERT, for easy catch-up, we began this topic just like we said, is a part 2 of the topic we began last year. We discussed and then highlighted some important areas, some key important areas where we define the concept of financial inclusion, where we are able to identify the key stakeholders, and we are able to also ask to probably find the reason why there is low circulation of the new redesigned notes. And we also talked about what can be done to enhance the dissemination of the information so as to facilitate smooth buy-in of the public, both people in the urban and the rural areas. So that was our discussion last week. So we continue on that. With this, we'll continue from where we stop. But before that, I would love to take you back. We have talked about it last year when we talk about the impact and benefit of it. So I want to ask you, as of today, you can still see people coming up to ask, why is it necessary that the new NAIRA notes should be designed? Why is it necessary? So for a broad-based understanding and appreciation of this policy by the members of the public, I would want you to tell the viewers once again why this new decision is strategic by CBN.
Okay. I will start first by saying that it is a world phenomenon by central banks to always redesign the currency, and that happens between a 5 to 10 year gap period. Now, one of the reasons for redesign of currencies is one, for the security of that currency. The security, I mean, to stop against counterfeiting and the rest of them. That is the first key reason. The second reason is for you to promote the currency itself. Ensure that you can put spending, you can reduce spending power so that you can cause deflation instead of inflation. Another reason for that is for you to be able to remove the currencies that are being in circulation for over a long period, because they begin to have more mutilated notes as time goes on, and you have to print more over time. Now, again, for Nigeria, it's actually a lot more strategic. I would say that one, as at the last figures given by CBN of October, the last quarter of last year, we had about 12 trillion supposedly in circulation. But what was really with the banks, which is what you use to calculate circulation in and out, was about 3 trillion. So there was a huge amount of money being outside. So what is happening in Nigeria is hoarding. People were hoarding cash at home. And then we're going towards a very vital moment in our country, which is an election year. This is a buy, in order to reduce things such as vote buying. That is why this policy was put in place, and the timing was so short so that people are forced to bring in the money. And if you don't bring it in, it becomes null and void to you. You'll not be able to be used outside after the 31st. And our elections are just in the next month. So it is a very, very strategic move by the government to fight a lot of things. So that is why that redesign is necessary at this time. But then again, the last time new notes were brought out were over 10 years ago. And according to laid down procedures by central banks all over the world, we've already exceeded that window. So the need for this redesign is very, very necessary. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So viewers, you can hear that it's very vital. There is a redesign of this NAIRA note so as to check out criminal activities and let's have a better nation. I also want to take you back to the question being asked last week, because you are in the system. We are in the system. The people we had last week was like environmental activities and all, and then the one of the financial man that into cooperative for SME. But you being into the system as in a bank, we want to ask why probably within the time frame that government has given to say let's start issuing, that's 15th December to 31st of October. People from last week, people were saying that they were still withdrawing. When you go to bank, they withdraw the old notes. They're still giving them the old notes instead of taking it from them. And while they're withdrawing, they give them new notes. So, and from the record, it was recorded that CBN printed over 500 million of pieces of these notes, and they have branches all over and the banks in Nigeria is about 31 banks, and when you split it into the branches, it's about 400 and something. So they were asking why the reason of still giving the old notes within the time frame.
Okay. So, like I said about the redesign, redesign is focused on a lot of things. One of the reasons why this redesign, remember when I said redesign helps in either promoting the currency. Now, as a country, we are moving into a cashless society. That is one of the aim of this present CBN that we have now, pushing us into a cashless society. If you notice, just up till the 9th of January, the policy was that the maximum an individual can take in a week was 100,000.
Yes.
But with pressures from all angles, it was raised to the previous limit, which was 500,000. And after that, there are going to be sanctions on what you need. So for us first, as a country, once you're doing a redesign, you are trying to promote other things. Remember, we have the NAIRA, and we're also saying that we want monies to be moving within the system.
Yeah.
That way, criminal activities are restricted. Let's make a typical example. At this point where we do not have enough new currency, for instance, there is a kidnap and there is a request for a ransom. You cannot get money to give that ransom.
Yeah.
So it means that you are automatically forcing the hand of the kidnappers to say, okay, let's give you an account for you to credit. Once there is a trace, you know that you can find whoever is behind that thing. So the aim for the redesign, one, and the reason why there is not, and we don't want to call it enough, but there is enough supply, but that supply is restricted to be that, so that the cash that will be moving can be measured. You can say, okay, at this point it's only 500 million that's there. At this point it's only 2 billion that's there. Not you just print because you know people need, because people will still do the same thing you're trying to fight against. Carry the new one and keep at home.
Wow.
So that's why you see it's sort of restricted. But what the CBN has said is that between now and 31st, whether old or new, we will still accept. Meaning that close to the last week, you will now start seeing the new ones. But that new ones will come with the restriction where you cannot take above this amount and this amount.
Sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
So you mean that why the issuance of the old design is still going on in some of our bank and ATM is for the purpose of restricting what has happened before. That is deliberate.
Good.
It's deliberate.
Yes, because you can't just say, okay, because we had 13 billion in circulation, you will go and print on that 13 billion and keep. Somebody will pack it and put it in his house. Then what you are trying to stop, you have automatically just done exchange for the person by saying, give me old one, take new one, and that's it. And that's what they're trying to fight against.
Wow, that's good. Thank you so much. Viewers, you can see the benefit of professional in the system. So at least this one can ease our tension a bit. Why we always ask, why is the new design not coming forth? Why is the new design not coming forth? It's to help the cashless policy. So as you have heard it now, I think it's time for us to align better and stop complaining, but embrace the policy. So what we want to ask, with this development now, is it possible that before 31st now, this old note, all of them has been withdrawn from the public?
So, based on the timeline given by CBN, by the 31st of January, it is expected that every single legal tender that was owed with currency should be with the banks.
Okay.
It's at that point, it is now left for the banks to ensure that the circulation stops from their end. So, I'll give you a typical example. Why people are complaining that, the new currency is not there, they want it. Why do you want it? When you are taking 500,000 or 500 million cash, you are going to the bank to drop it in. Why do you need a new one? When you can pay with your phone, you can pay with this to this person. Why do you? If you need cash, it probably be for transport fare. So you should be saying about 20,000, 30,000 at most. That should be the need. But what we are doing is that we are still trying to, the criminal element are still trying to beat the system by trying to force people to ask for new notes. That way, CBN will be forced to print more. And a lot of people are started thinking of ways to circumvent the rule already as it is. So the government also has to have a strong point and stand there and say this is what we want to do, and we're saying let us go cashless.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. I'll tell you a typical example. If you walk into a shop outside Nigeria, probably in the UK, you cannot carry 100 pounds and show shop. But they look at you like, what's happening here? So what you see is between 20 pounds, 10 pounds, $10, $50. That's what you see. But here we're used to big notes. Someone wants, I only want 1,000. Oh, I want only this. What is it for if we're going cashless? So the aim of the redesign, like I said, one is to stop criminal activities, hoarding. Two is to promote the use of the currency. And in promoting it, it means you're saying, apart from doing little cash transactions, we are going cashless completely. So that is why the government is standing firm on its policy on this. And the best advice I will give to viewers and all Nigerians is you just have to come in line with it and flow with it.
Yes. So this just remind me, viewers, last week we had some misconception regarding information on the date of the old Naira notes will cease to be a legal tender. This is based on this is not a legal information from CBN. It's just a proposal by the National Assembly. So with this, we stand to tell you that 31st January of old Naira notes cease to be a legal tender, still sacrosanct. So we have to embrace it and know what to do. Then with this, I want to ask, is it possible to people to violate the rule that maybe after 31st January, you will see the old Naira notes on their hands? They will still be using it in exchange of their trade. Because as you see now, if you have to check, like some of us that maybe want to patronize roadside vendors or buy small things, you will see when they give them money, whether the new one or the old one, they will still give you change of the old note. Is it possible that the public can violate the rule and the stand?
So the truth is that one of the aims of agencies like this is to ensure that the news of this Naira redesign reaches virtually everywhere. Now, definitely, we will have individuals who will still be holding the old notes after 31st. Now, if the information has gone around enough, it means that the roadside buyer that will want to receive it will tell you, Oga, it's already 31st, I cannot take this money from you. So he will not take it. But if he doesn't know, he will accept it, and then he will be the one making a loss in business because he cannot use it. So the aim is to ensure that we pass out this information early enough so that it reaches every nook and cranny of the country and people know what to expect. So that as at that day, what it means is that even before that day, you need to stop collecting it so that you can go and drop the one you have in the bank by that day.
Yes.
And then you are free. But if anything you hold, it will probably be a museum artifact for you in your house. We'll put it on the wall to show your children after that we used to have such currencies.
Yeah, that's good. So viewers, you can see this is an expo. If you love yourself and you love your neighbor and you love your people in the rural area, this is an opportunity for me to remind you that you can spread this news by hitting the like button on our platform right now. Hit the like button, hit the share button. Let this information circulate. Let people get aware that CBN has made the decision and they are standing still to make sure it stands. So whoever holds the Naira, the old redesigned Naira by January 31st, you are standing to lose. Don't be deceived and don't allow your loved ones to be deceived. Share this program right now and let everybody be informed and be alert to take the right decision. So before we continue, we would love to take a feedback from our correspondent from Akotoru right now. All right, Mr. B.S. Sanibo, if you are on, please take it up.
Thank you, presenter, for having me. Today, the NOA River State Dialogue is discussing the topic, the redesigned Naira note and stakeholders' inclusion in financial inclusion. And to discuss this topic with me this morning, I have an amiable gentleman whose name is Mr. Bright Okoy. Mr. Bright Okoy, you're welcome. Thank you. Now, the new Naira note has been designed for some time now. It is also being circulated, and there are a lot of discussion around it. Particularly, you have heard the topic we're discussing, stakeholders, role in financial inclusion. What do you have to say?
All right, thank you very much, the presenter. We all know the society where we find ourselves, where we find it very difficult in accepting new innovations. And the new Naira note was actually designed to help our economy. And it were designed to help to stabilize the inflation in our economy and the society at large. Looking at it very well, we have a very large inflation rate in the country. And the Naira note were told by the CBN that the Naira note was coming to encourage other financial platforms and to also discourage illicit money stacking and to also discourage carrying of large physical cash by encouraging other platforms of transactions. So while trying to carry out this, it is not just possible for the CBN policy and the Naira redesign to hit into the society easily like that. So the stakeholders has a lot of role to play in it, just like the National Orientation Agency. They have a lot of job to do by going into the streets to educate Nigerians, to tell them exactly why they need to accept this new policy. Just of recent, few days ago, while carrying out my daily activities, I had a lot of challenges with the people in the market from accepting the new Naira note, because I went to the market to get some things while trying to make payment. The Naira note was also included in the money I was to pay, and the woman rejected it. So it took me a lot of time for me to be able to tell the woman that this is exactly the Naira note that was just introduced into the system. So the stakeholders, the investors, and the depositors and creditors has a lot of work to do. The National Orientation Agency had to go to the nooks and crannies to educate people why they need to accept this new currency. I think by so doing, it will go a long way in making the people accept that this is what has come to be.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Bright Okoy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. My name is AMEZHINIM. I am reporting from the field for NOA River State Dialogue. It's over to you, Ifoma Ilodigwe.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that concise information. We are grateful. But before we continue, one of our guests, familiar to the studio, just came in. By name, High Comrade Prince AMEZHINIM ATUMA. He is the CEO, ODIO Cooperative Investment and Credit Society Limited, MSNES and SNES Consultant. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
We are glad to have you back again in the studio. Wow. Yeah, we have moved a bit far. And your co-guest is by name Mr. CUTHBERT WAR-TOBY. He's from STANBIC IBTC. He's the manager of STANBIC IBTC. And he has highlighted some points of our discussion from last week. He was here last week with us, and Prince ATUMA was here last week with us, where we discussed some of this issue. We define the financial inclusion, we point the key stakeholders, and where we talked about the reason why the low circulation. And he answered the question this morning as someone still in the system, saying that the purpose is to make sure that the old notes return. So, and to promote the cashless policy. So we'll continue from there. And as just working with the cashless policies he mentioned, I want to ask you, what do you think that will be the fate of the POS vendors? Of the POS vendors in relation to the cashless policy, and what can be done to protect these POS operators? Because with the fact that this POS has given job opportunities to so many youths and individuals across the country.
Well, thank you very much. Well, for the POS, first before I control that, I also want to tell that I'm also one of the national leaders of the mobile agents.
Okay.
Currently, I have no less than about 2,000 to 3,000 POS operators.
Okay.
I myself as an aggregator, so
Okay.
they work under me.
Yeah.
When the CBN brought the policies towards the limitation of amount of money you can withdraw, some of the POS operators who decided that they were afraid. There was fear that that this is going to be this is not going to favor their business. In fact, some of them even tried to they appeal to CBN to reverse it and all that. Before it was like they limit in a day should be within for POS operators is another 100,000 and within that. But right, I don't have an increase about is it 500?
500, yeah.
So
you said it.
see, I think everybody somehow is somehow okay. So nobody's more complaining that much because if a POS operator by the time you do 500,000 naira in a day, you have also done something, So and if for instance, and if your POS you are actually using some POS they onboard you as a corporate body, you can also do more than that 500,000 naira too. And so you will also find out that outside the policy of the CBN towards limiting as in excess liquidity, I think that is what the policy gets to, excess cash, limiting mobbing up the excess cash in the economy by encouraging people to now transact through their phone, their app and all that, It is a good one. It's a good one in the sense that look, that even in the civilized country in the world today, everybody's moving towards cashless economy. The advances of having so much excess cash in the economy is brought about inflation. I got to the corner, and nobody's happy about inflation. Everybody's crying. Tomorrow you want to go to market, you will see that what you buy yesterday of 10 naira is now 15 naira. And by when you are still contemplating on how to survive that one, next day you hear that it's now 20 naira. People are asking why? So by the time we see those policies that will start working, we Nigerians are going to benefit. So and the sacrifice shouldn't be too much for anybody to make the sacrifice. That I need to tell those operators under me, the mobile bank under me, it's a sacrifice we want to make for the betterment of ourselves and for the country. And so it's a welcome development. But what we are not talking about here is there are so much complaints in Nigerian financial system. We are still evolving. We are still improving in a daily basis. You will find where that, in fact, there was a day I myself, I bought something somewhere in the market, and because of the transfer, it kept me over 3 hours. Because I could not go. The person said I have not received the alert. I said, please. He said, okay, you can go. I said, no, let me be sure that you have received the alert. See, you find out that the banks, the network in Nigeria, the bank network in Nigeria, it's not 100% okay. I mean, it's not 60%. I can't give them 60% okay. I get the point. So we need to address that. No, we cannot be talking about it. Like for instance, where the president was making a policy, said there are certain things they said they should not import. And those things we are saying we should not import. Who can produce them in Nigeria? What happened? Those who already have the price increases, and who cannot afford it? So if we are making a policies towards cashless economy, what are the things that will create that policies? For the institution who do not have a bank network strong enough to accommodate that policies, to become chaos for the people. So it's a welcome development. Nothing about it to make policies. Another thing is to ensure what are those things that this policy will bring about. What are the things that will hinder the policies not to manifest? Or what are those things that will bring about suffering for the people? I'll be able to address this. What I'm trying to say is I'm not saying that Nigerian bank is not working. They're not trying, but one of the criteria and one of the effect we're going to suffer as well of this cashless economy is the impact of the bad network. I get it from the banks. Now, if you come back to the POS operator themselves, I think they have been able to adjust their businesses. They understood that look, this is what is on board, and they have adjusted their business. And there's another thing that the POS can also it's not for their own good too. Since everybody looking at the government, the country, the CBN is looking towards the cashless economy. And once everybody is rushing to the bank to open accounts, the POS also taking advantage of it. They're opening account, they're making money from an account opening. And now, if you're an agent of the bank and you open an account, the little commission comes to you for opening that account. And they also making small cash from there. So it's all, if we look at it, it's always for everybody.
And there will still be some of their services, even when the cashless policy have already come in fully, such as they can still make transfer even without card. They can still be making transfers for people online.
Of course, someone can be crowded with the whole block. Some please can come into society.
Yes, active charge.
Yes, they can still make transfer. The transfer is there, and they can also advance. Like for instance, some of the banks are actually even allowing some of the applicants to make use of print. Guiding them access to print ATM cards. So because of a lot of people are open account, they're now demanding for ATM card. So those mobile agents also have other services they can provide aside just normal deposit and transfer. The other things they can also render. I get to the point now. So what we need to do is to educate them and we see that their business is secured. Currently, the mobile agents a lot of people are finding so they're already making a living from it. More especially the Nigerian, considering the country where the employment is not that much, and so a lot of graduates and non-graduates are taking advantage of becoming a mobile agent. And so, if there's anything we need to do, that is why they cry out and the civil listen to them. Because if anything they need to do, this over currently more than about if I'm not going to let me exaggerate things, at least not less than 2 million Nigerians are already into mobile agents. Yes, 2 million Nigerians. That's why you see when you go to Wi-Fi, you work on a distance, you see well viewers and all that are involved with it. So it's something that we need to encourage them and encouraging them by good policies. Because at the end of the day, if somebody cannot find a job, I can end up, manage that one for the meantime, and they're making money. Some days, some POS agents make no less than 5,000-10,000 a day. So even if you times that money for a month, some people earn more than 200,000, 300,000 a month. They earn more than even some bankers who work in the bank. So what we need to do is to make the country in such a way that it will encourage everybody and the country will foster.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for that wonderful contribution. So you see why this information is good to spread out, disseminate it. I just want to remind you too that we're on YouTube. You can stream live with us on YouTube. You can also drop your comments there. Let your loved ones get to hear, especially those of them that are affected by this contribution. Prince ATUMA just mentioned the PO vendors. There's no cause to alarm. There's no fear. You can still go around doing your business. And before we go on, when we come back to you. I have a question relating to individual trading on their business too, or relating to this cashless policy and transferring of money. But before we move on, we want to get to our correspondent in Omuma local government, Mrs. Leka Emejiri. If you are there, take it up.
Good day, viewers. This is Leka Emejiri, COMRADE National Orientation Agency, Omuma local government area. The redesign of the NAIRA notes have attracted some comments from respondents in the area. Here with me to discuss the role of financial institutions and stakeholders to the design of the NAIRA is Pastor Henry. Over to you, sir.
God bless you. I personally believe that the redesigned NAIRA notes suffers some setback because of lack of participation of stakeholders in the policy making process. I strongly believe that if the stakeholders were brought on board before this policy was made, there will be a lot of public education. Then a lot of people would have been tutored on what the purpose of this new design NAIRA notes will be for, and they would have accepted it before it came. But there is a kind of apathy. Even the average market woman today may not really receive it wholeheartedly. But I strongly believe that there is a purpose for it, because our economy needs to reduce how much we are spending on the production of our NAIRA notes. So if you check the old NAIRA notes vis-a-vis the new one, you will discover that the new one is one column, so it costs less. And I believe also that this policy will help politicians, not just politicians, a lot of people will have to come to the bank. So it's going to help a lot in the banking industry, in the financial industry. They will have more people as opposed to what it used to be with the old NAIRA notes. God bless.
Thank you very much, sir. Over to you, Ifeoma.
Thank you, ma. Thank you, ma. Thank you, sir. You can see our first correspondent and the second correspondent are almost saying the same thing: dissemination of the information, proper education of the public. And I think NOA on the best position to do this, as they always say. And in due time, we'll be moving to the rural areas. But from the last week, you can also recall that they say social media is one of the way this can go far. Click the like button and the share button. Let people on your timeline get to know and get proper education of this new development. So we'd love to open our phone line. If you can call us in now, call. When your call comes in, be civil. Tell us your name, your location, and straight to the point. So our phone line is +234 9166 587355. I will go again. +234 9166 587355 is on the screen. You can make your call right now. Thank you. So, sir, before we read up our comments, I would love to ask, what and how do you think individual businessmen and women, like the bus and taxi drivers, even the roadside food vendors, and the pepper sellers in the market and tomato sellers, can overcome this low circulation and embrace this cash policy and still effectively and efficiently do their businesses? Because when you watch with the mobile transfer that we have nowadays, you see charges, and some people, they will say, if I do transfer for you now, they will charge me. I can't, and they will want to. How do you think that they can do their business? Sorry, let us take out the call. Hello? Welcome to NOA River State Dialogue.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
Where are you calling from? Your name and where you are calling from?
Yes, I am your regular caller, Mr. Chiwe Opala, calling from Port Harcourt.
Okay, you are welcome, Mr. Chiwe.
Yeah. Once again, let me appreciate you people for doing a good job. Talking about redesigning the currency and the NAIRA, I want to say that the CBS so far, I think has done a good job in the area of enlightenment, ensuring that the people are aware of this new policy. Because I'm aware that there is a collaboration between the CBN and National Orientation Agency here at Abuja, at the national headquarters, and this has also trickled down to the state. I'm also aware that the NOA River State Director has also directed or given the marching order to the Community Orientation and Mobilization Officer, the officer in charge of the 3 local government areas in River State, to hit the road to visit community, motorbike, market, and other public places to create awareness about this policy. It's a good one. But my fear is the risk of hackers. You know, now the essence of this cashless policy, the essence of this design is to reduce or limit the volume of cash in our economy, as the first speaker rightly mentioned. And the essence is also to encourage people to use other means of transaction, to use the POS, to use the e-NAIRA, to make use of other, the mobile transaction. Yes, it's a step in the right direction. Then my fear is that, are we prepared? How prepared are we, more especially the banking industry, to check hacking, the issue of hacking and other problem activities that will go on in this technological driven financial economy? And two, how prepared are our security agencies to respond to, issue of criminality that will arise? Because a lot of criminal elements we now know that our billions are not on our mobile phone, and the possibility of robbery, criminality, being on the high side is there. So how swift will our security agents will be in terms of responding to calls, or in terms of responding to criminality? So let us also reflect on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Chinwe. That was a wonderful question from you. And we will direct this question to Mr. CUTHBERT WAR-TOBY, who is in the system. So, sir, from the question I asked you before concerning the fear of the roadside vendors on how they are going to cope with bank charge, and he mentioned while he was speaking, he also mentioned bank network. I too have experienced such. After process of 18, you start to wait till the seller gets the alert, and him also is mentioning the security, our bank account security, knowing that someone carried their phones with billions on it. How prepared are the bank and the security agencies to tackle this problem?
Okay, first of all, this cashless policy or policies did not just start yesterday. It has been something that was a plan dating 10 years back. When Mr. Prince was talking, I remember he talked about the bank networks and how suitable they were. Also, when the caller called, he also made mention. But I want to just draw us back. Say, 19-20 years ago, at the incorporation of the first generation banks, such as Access, Diamond, and the rest of them, we remember that when you want to withdraw money, they open a ledger for you, and then they look and say, oh, you have money to do. But when Diamond Bank came, the way they went into the market, they were the first bank that you would go to Idumota in Lagos and then put money there and go to Aba and withdraw your money. They started that process first. Now that process has evolved up to what it is now.
Yeah.
I also want to remove some form of reliance or what we call emphasis on the banks when it comes to network. The banks do not provide network services. It's the telecom agents that do that. So most times where you see bank having those issues, it's the same way you have your phone and network just goes off. There's nothing the bank can do because they are not licensed to operate in that part to run those things on their own. So what banks do is that they use the various telecom agents, MTN, this one, they'll have like 4 of them and put them as backup. So today, this one, there are times that all of them will fail. Also, there are also points where we have what we call NIPS. NIPS is the body who handles transfers all around Nigeria. So once my account is debited here, the money goes to NIPS before the money hits his account in, say, Union Bank. So sometimes you see where you have issues, you say, the debited me, the bank will say it's successful on this end. His own bank will say it's not successful. That's when they now start doing investigation to do, what is happening here. So there are a lot of things that are not privy to the general public. That's why I'm trying to say, let us also remove some emphasis like the banks are failing because the banks do not provide that particular network service. So when you have things like making a transfer, it takes hours to hit. As long as it has hit your account and you have been debited, that service from that end has been done. It is now left for the other bodies in the middle to do their own before it gets to that part. Now, this is also what we also try to tell the public, that you have to understand this way. Now, when you have things like that, it is where you request for payment receipts so that you can say, okay, you can go. I have a payment receipt. Most times, those payment receipts have a long code, a 20-digit code. So if you go to your bank and say, this month I have money, see the payment receipt, see this 20-digit code, they will put it into the NIPS reconciliation portal and see it. If you did not go, it's okay. If you did not go, NIPS, see, we have this, and there will be some sort of a reform. These things will happen. In any economy, it happens. Any banking system, it happens. If you talk about the security, permit me to say, as we are as of today, our banks are very, very secure.
Okay.
What causes a lot of fraud is the giving out of personal information. Someone can't just defraud you like that. You must give out one information that will lead to another, or you will probably have your phone number and then they will do something, you get an OTP and someone call, I'm calling from the bank. Banks have gone far in telling people, we do not call you to ask for anything. Anything we need, we have it here. If we want you to come, we'll say, come to us and say, oh, fill this, fill that. So banks are also doing their part in terms of the security. Again, don't be surprised. Our security agencies are doing extremely well when it comes to following money trail. That is another reason why the cashless policy is very, very important, because once money leaves the bank and turns into cash, it becomes untraceable. But where it is moving from A to B to C, you will see that in any endpoint of any fraud, the endpoint is cash. Once it starts, it can go 5 ways, but it will end up in being cash. Once it gets to that cash form, that's the end of the trade. So that's why we are pushing for it. Again, I want to say something about the POS vendors you talked about. The advice I will give to them is, this policy is not targeted at them.
Okay.
But the policy is also targeted at ensuring that what we are trying to prevent or cure, what we are trying to cure, we also prevent it from happening again, not just cure it and wait again for it to happen. Now, like he said, which I really encourage, I would wish every POS agent to move from personal accounts that they used to run those POSs to enterprise. Go as far as opening enterprise. It also comes to also impact the government pocket, because now you can now tax those. Those are businesses that are going on. Let's also know that those are businesses. So you also want them to go into that. So even they go into that, they have access to 5 million cash. But once you do that, you know that okay, you start paying some tax here and there, and you also improve the government pocket. So those are things that I think we need to put out there for people to know. This policy is targeted at 1, security of the Naira, 2, compliance with what they call cashless policy. See, the POS agents are very key stakeholders in the cashless policy, because the amount of unbanked that we have in Nigeria, we say we have about 200 million plus people. Put all the people that have accounts in the bank, we're not talking about the 100 million. So we still have a huge number of, and that is where these POS people are the interface. That's why banks are saying, be our agents, help us open an account for these people, give them card. Those are the things that we're trying to ensure. So we need to continually pass this message out to people to know that this policy is here to stay and it will work.
Yes.
Let us not look for loopholes in it.
Yes. Thank you so much. Our time is fast spent and we are running out of time again today. But I think we have done a lot of justice. You can go back to watch our previous edition where we started from, so as to follow up on this one and ensure that, just like he said, this policy is not targeted at anyone. It's just for us to embrace the good development for the good of Nigeria and for good of everyone. No one is targeted to be harmed. So right now, as I promised you, the viewers, we are part of this dialogue. We want to read up some comments and opinions, questions and contributions on our comment section. We are live on YouTube in case you want to watch through there. Thank you. So from Rosemary Abihat, thank you. A lot of people is streaming live with us. I will not be able to call our name one by one because of our time, because we have some things that is still bothering the public that we ought to talk about. So from Rosemary Abihat, she said, I think one of the reasons the government decided to redesign the Naira note is to force corrupt people in high places to deposit all the rooted funds in their disposal into the banks, to control the circulation of loose cash and to enforce electronic transfer of money, and also to identify the sender and the receiver. That's good. That's what Mr. CUTHBERT also said. Sanibon Abiye, talking about the reasons, the redesign of Naira note, the guest in the studio said to discourage vote buying. Now the question is, what if politicians have used the hoarded Naira to buy dollars so that they can use the dollars to buy votes? What is your take, Mr. Toby? From Kobani Benibaris, he said, sorry sir, this question was directed to you. We'll come back to that. Let's just accommodate other viewers. Why is it that ATM machine is not dispensing the new Naira note? This question has been answered. He said is to get a strict compliance of the public so as they can return the old Naira note before the new ones comes. Because if the new ones is in circulation with the old one, what happened to the old one will happen to the new one. And for now, let's believe them. That is for our good. Then from Sanibon Abiye, if it is true that the currency should be redesigned, every 5 to 8. So why did it take so long for the central bank to do the needful? I thought at this time it's not for us to be antagonists, but for us to embrace it. It is done, it is done. Whether it takes number of years, let's not be antagonists of this and embrace the new development. A Palibot principle. What can the CBN do differently to ensure the availability of the new Naira notes, as the bank's ATM are still dispensing the old Naira notes? Is been answered for strict compliance. Then thank you, Mr. Beckenbaugh. Then from Mr. Beckenbaugh, he said CBN should be able to enforce implementation at the point of ATM dispensers. If not, some commercial banks will hinder the good policy of the Apex Bank. He said it, and news had it that some new Naira notes has also been printed. He said it that before 31st it will circulate well. So let's believe them. The first is to believe, and then we watch out how things turn. The banks, this from Leke Umejuru, the bank should endeavor to circulate the new Naira notes, as majority has not seen it. We have one of our correspondents who said he has seen it. He even traded with it. So it's a gradual process. And I, speaking with you this morning, I received the new Naira note yesterday as a change from KK driver, 500 Naira new Naira note. I received. By now, let's believe them. Let's believe them. It will work out. So, Bridget Idemio, stakeholders have a role to play in the acceptance and circulation of the redesigned Naira note, especially during business transactions. NOA will do that. The platform where we are right now is doing the same thing. That's why it's important for you to share this program to your contacts. Let it go viral for people to get aware of what is happening. Remember, after 31st January, that's old design notes of 200, 500, and 1,000 Naira will cease to be a legal tender. You will be at loss. If you have your loved one in the rural area, they will be at loss. The 31st of January is still sacrosanct to this decision. Thank you. Then Mr. Douglas Madi said, the time frame for withdrawal of the old Naira notes be extended for the interest of local people who are yet to be properly educated on the rationale for the bank's recent decision to redesign Naira notes. We come to this question, how it will be done. Bridget Idemio, decision and campaigns taken by government and national orientation agency are very important to avoid suspicion and end public trust. Then she said again, the Central Bank of Nigeria should initiate a unified strategy on the mode of circulation of the redesigned Naira notes as the way forward. That's a good one. We'll come to this suggestion and contribution. There should be a development and implementation of national finance literacy framework to increase awareness and understanding of financial products and services with the ultimate goal of increasing sustainable national integration for the benefit of all. The Nigerian government initiated a variety of focus programs to achieve from PTKB. That Nigerian government initiated a variety of focus programs to achieve financial inclusion and financial literacy, which having consequence on sustainable development. Thank you, sir, for that contribution. There should be monitoring and evaluation of financial inclusiveness in the country. The Naira redesign policy that was expected to see the introduction of 200, 500, and 1,000 Naira notes into the economy with effect from December 15, 2022, as the current notes will cease to be legal tender by January 31st, 2023. Up till now, there is little or absence of the new Naira note, and the deadline is around the corner. He has answered our question, and one advice I wish to give to the viewers is, whatever that you can to do to make sure you don't have this money in your hands by 31st of January is to go and deposit it to the bank. Let there be exchange. Don't keep it much. Don't keep it much. Don't even keep it small. You can go with your transaction. But with this information and this panic now, Don't you think that day it will look as if there is a halt in activity of people in Nigeria? You see people, I'm not going to work, I don't have the Naira note, all my money is in the bank, can whatsoever take this new take transfer? And you see some people, I'm not selling anything today, they are giving me old notes. Do you think there will be something like a halt in people's activity, life activity that day?
Well, I think that would not be necessary because, like I was rightly said, before that 31st January, the new Naira note must have been in circulations, and we are beginning to see, even now it's already coming up to a certain level. We are beginning to see it. Like last 2 people, I have not even seen anyone. A lot of people have testifying that they are not beginning to see the new Naira note. So it's a gradual process. Like I said here last week during this program, I looked at it's going to be a gradual process. And believing what is going on now, I think they will meet up. So there will be that situation where people will panic, I don't have to, I'm not go out. I don't think so.
Okay, that's good. So we are all stakeholders in this financial inclusion. Individually, a stakeholder, the businessman, businesswoman, you will help in establishing this policy. Deposit whatever you have, limit your cash by now, and then the security agents, even the telecommunication is coming in today. Last week we didn't mention them. We are all part of stakeholders to make this work out. So let's go back to Mr. Toby on the question that was directed to you from one of our viewers. I think it's from Senebo Abiye. He said, talking about the reasons of the redesign of the Naira note, the guests in the studio said to discourage vote buying. Now the question is, what if politicians have used the hoarded Naira to buy dollars so they can use the dollars to buy votes?
Okay. When the policy came out immediately, there was a huge panic. And if you are very observant,
sorry, before then, viewers, sorry, we are adding 10 minutes to our time because this discussion is a vital one and we need to wrap it up for today.
Okay. So when the policy came out, there was a huge panic. And what we saw in the black market or the parallel market was that there was a huge devaluing of the Naira. What was happening there was dumping of Naira. People were dumping Naira to take dollar and you see that it was going up to almost 900 because of that. Now, what has happened is that process has slowed down. And you now see that the Naira started appreciating backwards, coming back. Now it's about 7 something, right? So there are things that you cannot stop. But what the CBN is also doing is that, yes, you have changed it to dollar, right? We will not have that amount of money in circulation from the 31st. So when you want to even change it back, if you want to change, the person says, okay, I can only provide you with 10 million, there's only 10 million I have. You will be forced to take what you have. So at that point, they will even devalue the dollar more. Tell you, dollar now goes at 500, just so that you will take that money that they have. So the CBN has thought of a full process, and I said, this process, let's try and make it proof. Let's proof, lock it down as much as we can. See, we know that there are still going to be off the circle activities that will happen. There are people who will still try to do that. But to the best of their ability, let us make it as difficult as possible. When I said vote by, I was saying that in particular towards what we are looking at in the next couple of weeks, we will get into that period where people will stand and say, take 10,000, you don't have 10,000, you don't have 20,000 to give somebody physically. You reduce it, so you tell the person take 500 naira. Who will go around and be giving dollar? Do you think the amount of dollar in circulation is enough to buy votes around Nigeria?
No.
Who will give you? The first question is, will the man want to buy a vote for 70,000 plus for one person? What we know on the street is 5,000, 10,000. Who wants to give you that? Or you want to add 10 people together and say, so it's also difficult going forward for them. So I pray that we do not have the political powers bamboozle this policy and open it up, because that's what they are trying to do. Or once they open it up, what needs to be done will be done. And so the thing is, people who hoard are people who are influential. It's people who have, people who can steal. Do you understand? Those are people that hoard. Those are people that can press. Those are people that have power. and people who have power can bend a lot of things. So the truth is that we pray that the policy stays as it is. It is going to be difficult for a lot of people. Like you said, remember when we had the BVN enrollment? You know how people sat at home and said they were not going to do it, and then one day CBN said, if you do not have BVN, you're not going to use your account. And next week we're seeing banks are putting canopies in front of their bank for people to sit in line to go and get. At the end of the day, have we not gone past that?
Even calls, even our telephone lines.
So it's they started again NIA. So what the government is doing is, we know that we are moving into a full advanced technological age. We need to move with it. And if you have your cash, please, even if it's in one place in Buguma or Bile or somewhere in the rural area, please look for, there are POS agents everywhere. Go and drop it with them, give it to them. And you know what that does is that it also helps people who don't have accounts begin to open accounts. So we need to be really, we need to embrace this policy with all our hearts, because it will take us to the desired destination.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we'll be asking again before we round off. There's someone on the platform, Mr. Douglas Madison, was asking, so as to be properly educated on the rationale for the bank's recent decision to redesign Naira note. That's to the people at the local place. What we can tell you is that help us pass this message, put it on your timeline, send it across to your contacts, tell them by word of mouth, by social media, it will spread. We will get to know it. So before we round up, I will also ask you, sir, it is alleged, even on social media, that the redesigned Naira notes fades easily. And with this fading of easily, it can prompt the viral circulation of the fake notes. Do you think the stakeholders can handle this? How do you think the stakeholders can handle this if it's true?
Well, I must say that not everything that we see on social media we believe.
We should believe.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true, and I don't think that is real. We're able to have a queue of the new notes. I'm not saying some say, oh, once you put it in the hand, the color will start
fading away.
I don't think that's true. So now it's more.
So, Mr. Toby, you that is a bank system, I believe with you have seen the 1,000, the 500, and the 200, and you have also heard of this news on social media. What do you have to say?
Let me just say this: all those stories are fake.
Okay.
But with this redesign, don't think that those criminals are sitting down. They're also trying to counterfeit it.
Yeah.
So they are putting out a narrative that says, if you touch our own and it goes off, it's still the same thing. So you need to understand what people do in this kind of. So just take what you hear there as fake.
Yeah.
Once you have it, you will see it.
Okay.
But the truth is that if you wash money, whether the old or the new one, it will lose some value of what it is. So let's not allow it create fear or pandemonium in society.
Thank you. So viewers, you can hear, avoid fake news. Do not get panic. All those news are fake. Let's trust our financial sector that they have good intention to the public. Sir, please, your last word to the public.
Well, as Nigerians, as a good citizen, what we expect us is to key into the policy of the government. The government meant well, the CBN meant well, and everything the CBN is trying to do is for our benefit. And we as a citizen, what we do is that to complement the effort of the government is to key in such policies.
Yeah.
So I'm encouraging everybody to shun fake news and bring yourself forward to be part of the revolution, financial revolution. I call it financial revolution that the CBN is trying to bring. This new era, 2023, and to dispel any kind of fear, whether the politician wants to use some Bible or not. No, just agree that this politics is for our own good. Okay, so all the fake news, throw them away and accept them away. Thank you very much.
Throw them away. All the fake news, throw them away. So the last words from you to the public.
For me, simple. Trust the process. It has been a process of day one, and it will continue to be a process. We will grow from point to point. Just trust the process. We're doing everything we can to ensure that the economy we have is growing, it's vibrant, it has the security that it deserves for investments to come in. That's all. Trust the process.
Thank you. Thank you, viewers. Such a wonderful time in the studio today. And thank you for streaming live with us. We are glad. And I believe with this discussion today, we have known the way forward. 31st January, the old design of Naira note of 200 Naira, 500 Naira, and 1,000 Naira will cease to be a legal tender. Just try as much as you can to deposit it and use less cash. Let everyone come forward and embrace this new development. Shun fake news, throw them away, just like our guests told you. But before we go, we want to say thank you once again to our guests who came through for us today. Hi, Comrade Prince AMEZHINIM ATUMA. Thank you, sir, for coming through. Thank you. You are just a call and answer.
Thank you. I want to encourage the Rivers to continue to do what you are doing.
This
is part of the enlightenment we are talking about.
Yeah.
We need more of activities of NOA to go down to the grassroots. So social media is one of the ways we can educate people these days. Because a lot of Nigerians, mostly the young ones, are on the social media.
Yeah.
So hopefully we also need more presence of this enlightenment at the grassroots.
Yeah.
And so what NOA is doing is to be commended. We should be sponsors. We should be empowered to continue to do these things to the Nigerian masses.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And to you, Mr. CUTHBERT WAR-TOBY, thank you, sir. Such an insightful suggestions and contribution you gave us today. At least you ease some above 50 panic of the public out there. Thank you, sir, for coming through. We appreciate.
Thank you very much.
And we believe next time we call on you, you will answer us.
Thank you. I will.
You will. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And to you viewers, thank you so much for streaming live with us. We appreciate your participation today, your questions, your contributions and suggestions. We are grateful. And we encourage you to always do the right thing. Embrace the new policy. Let's believe once more on our government that they can do us good. Thank you. And this appreciation won't be complete if we do not say thank you to executive producer of this program, Dr. Gaba Abari, the Director General of National Orientation Agency. Thank you, sir, for giving us this platform. And to the producer of this program, Barrister Young Ayotamuna, who is also in the position of the State Director, National Orientation Agency, Rivers State. Thank you, sir, for your effort to make sure that this program keep running week after week. We are not tired, and we say thank you. And to the studio director, we are grateful, sir, for your seamless production of this program. Thank you, sir. We are grateful for your sacrifices. And to his able assistant, Mrs. Patience Ojoma, we say thank you. Thank you, the lady behind the camera. Thank you. We are grateful, ma'am. And to the assistant director also in studio, Ms. Helen Amuchazi, who makes sure that this program is in order the way it was programmed. We are grateful, ma'am. Thank you. And to every one of us out there, we are grateful once again for streaming live with us. Remember, shun fake news, embrace the good development, do the right thing, transform Nigeria. And at this point, we want to say goodbye to you. Stay safe, remain blessed, and see you next week.